Hey, Anime here, and My Hero Academia just ended one epic arc, and is going right into another one, and I want to discuss some of my theories involving a handful of villains being held in the maximum prison known as Tartarus. So, pull up a chair, and let's discuss. Roll that intro. Okay, so I don't have an intro, but let's get into those villain theories. First, I want to discuss Moonfish. If you forgot, Moonfish is that Cenobite-looking lover of flesh villain. Now, I don't really have a theory on him per se, but I wanted to bring him up because he has been out of the picture for a long time. He had very little screen and page time, but Hirakashi recently mentioned that we will see more of him. That's a very vague statement. It doesn't mean that he will have any major impact, and we might just see him in a couple panels being held in a prison cell or something, but we do want to keep our eyes open for him because we know he will pop up his snaggletooth head eventually. Now, let's get into a villain that offers something a little more interesting. Muscular. Muscular is an extremely powerful villain when it comes to physicality. Let's remember that he took on a full force punch from Deku like it was nothing. And I'm talking the first one, not that 1,000,000% supercharged punch. So, Muscular is interesting because when the prison break happens, he would be a very useful ally when it comes to taking down guards from within. Technically, Shigaraki and the gang wouldn't need him because they are coming with a group of high-end Nomu who, on their own, are each more powerful than Muscular. But he's still a member, or I guess former member, of the Vanguard. But here's my theory on Muscular. It's important for him to be broken out because he sets up a future battle with Deku. He would want revenge for being taken down. But even more interesting than that is it sets up a fateful match between him and Koda. If you don't remember, Koda is the son of Waterhose, the married heroes whom Muscular murdered. So what better way for Koda to show off his training and his potential to be a hero than through an epic battle between him and Muscular. Now obviously I'm not saying that's happening in this prison escape arc, but I'm saying down the line, that would just be something I would love to see. Now, the next villain who offers some potentially interesting stories would be Stain. Stain has been locked up in Tartarus for a long time, and he provides a complicated dynamic. He would not join the villains in their mission because he despises villains, and his personal code is just so strong. In Vigilantes, he helped a villain, but that was a means to an end. If Shigaraki or All for One approach him, it will more so be a join us or die scenario. But my theory is that Spinner is going to have a confrontation with Stain. Spinner is the one member of the League who has shown a number of times that he is dedicated to the values that Stain holds. And in this confrontation, I feel like Stain is going to tell him that he just does not agree with how Spinner is going about making Stain's will true, and that would mess with Spinner's psyche. And if that doesn't come to pass, I still think he somehow is set free, and rather than help the villains, he may take a couple of them down, or get into some kind of fights, but ultimately he's going to make a getaway, and he'll be free. Another major baddie being held in the halls of Tartarus is Overhaul. Now, out of the villains I've already mentioned, Overhaul would actually be one whose quirk All for One would like to steal. I mean, he's able to reassemble and assemble matter. You know, he can essentially warp matter, and All for One could find many ways to use that quirk to his advantage. And we might also see some revenge taken by Overhaul against the League of Villains. We are all aware that Overhaul lost his arms to Shigaraki and Mr. Compress respectively, but according to the official stat book, Overhaul has basically been healed and has function of his arms and his quirk. It doesn't say that he's able to use the quirk in the same way that he did before, but he can still use it. So, I don't know, it's kind of funny. Imagine him, maybe having to use his feet to activate the quirk or something. That'd be amazing. And last but not least, Kirigiri. Kirigiri is the #1 villain that Shigaraki and the crew are going to try and bust out of Tartarus. For one, they're going to need his quirk. When they plan to escape, it will be a lot easier to just warp out of there than fight their way through wherever heroes show up to the prison to stop them. Here's where my theory comes in. Kirigiri is a Nomu, and he is immensely loyal to Shigaraki. And that's because he was created using Oboro Shirakumo, who was that kind of person, always showing loyalty and care. This could prove to be a problem because All for One is controlling Shigaraki. And when Shigaraki is able to recontrol his own body, where is Kirigiri's loyalty going to lie? I feel like he would side with Shigaraki, which in turn would make him defend and go on an offensive if there's a confrontation between All for One and Shigaraki. And just as All For One created Kirigiri, I can totally see him being destroyed by AFO. Then there's the matter of President Mike and Eraserhead. Yes, they're both exhausted from the war that just happened, but if they can still stand, I feel like they would go to the prison because it's going to be all hands on deck when the villains try to make their escape. That sets up yet another fateful confrontation, and this time who knows what happens. I could see Eraserhead getting sentimental during a battle and leaving himself open to being killed, or he and President Mike would be forced to kill Kirigiri, which is going to set up a lot of emotional and mental issues for the two heroes going forward. So these are a couple of my takes on what's going to be happening in the future arc. And on a side note, I need to mention that part of me thinks it's not even going to be the prison escape arc that everyone thinks it's going to be. I mean, I could totally see this going in a totally different way where it's just going to be a couple of chapters. You know, Shigaraki and the Nomu arrive at the prison, they bust in, kill a few people, break some people out, and then they're gone. I don't see that, you know, I could see that it's not going to be some kind of super long extended arc like what we just saw through the war. But let me know what you think in the comments below, and please hit that subscribe button. Bye.